Welcome to NFL Week 1. This is 5 and 5, where our NFL expert Raheem Palmer will argue for 5 against the spread picks in 5 minutes. If you just did the quick math, you know that's 1 minute a pick. And if you can read, then you know I'm Amanda Rose. Raheem, how are you feeling about your Week 1 picks?
I feel real good. I mean, we've had a lot of time.
Okay, I want to hear more, but sorry, we don't have time. It's officially NFL season, and there are so many bets we got to do. I wasn't cutting him off. It was in the script. First, we got to plug our sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook's 2021 Championship Series. Be sure to enter their Pro Football Millionaire Pick'em, the largest in the world online pick'em tournament. There are $4 million in guaranteed payouts and a $1 million top prize. Play in any state where it's legal. All you have to do is choose 5 teams to win against the spread each week between NFL weeks 1 and 17. But only 16 weeks count towards your total. You get to choose 1 week to take off. You know, you're busy. So we'll be doing 5 and 5 every week this season. So you can use Raheem's picks or use your own. And you can see where Raheem is in the standings. Look for his username, Yo God. Raheem, are you ready to go?
I'm born ready. I mean, we coming out. We're going to try to win some money. We're going to try to win this thing outright. Y'all know how it's going down.
All right. I got to put you on the clock for your first picks. 60 seconds. Ready, set, go.
Okay, we got the Washington football team +1. When you look at this spread, the spread is 1. Well, the Chargers are 7-16 straight up in games decided by 1 score, which means that the Washington football team is a great bet here. The Chargers are getting a lot of hype based on Justin Herbert and hiring of former Rams defensive coordinator Brandon Staley. But I think the Washington football team is a better team. The Chargers made a living on third down. They were 10th in third down conversion percentage last year. And they're facing a Washington football team who was 3rd in EPA per play. You got to deal with Chase Young, Montez Sweat. This defense is dominant, and with Ryan Fitzpatrick in the fold, they finally have a competent quarterback that's not the corpse of Alex Smith and Dwayne Haskins. I'm taking the Washington football team +1. Look, we're going to go with the Denver Broncos -2.5 on the road. This spread is up to 3, so we actually getting a little bit of value. I mean, the first thing you got to realize about football is that football is won in the trenches. Pro Football Focus ranks the New York Giants as having the worst offensive line in the league. And they have to deal with the Denver Broncos, who are finally healthy after last year. They get Von Miller back, so they're going to be rushing the quarterback. Daniel Jones is not going to know what hit him. And the Broncos, like the Washington football team, they upgraded their quarterback. I mean, Drew Lock, he threw 16 interceptions last year, and that had a major factor on them not winning. They replaced him with Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, Lock was 28th in expected points added last year and dead last in completion percentage, above expectation. Teddy Bridgewater is a major upgrade. He was 19th in EPA per play and 7th in completion percentage. They should go out there and beat the Giants. This is a team that I'm betting on all year because I like the over 7.5 wins, the over 8.5 wins. They're going to get their first win here. The Seattle Seahawks, we're going to go with them -2.5 on the road. This is a line that's moved quite a ton, and it might seem a little fishy, but here's the thing. They're like the antithesis of the Chargers. They played 23 one-score games in the past season. Guess what their record is? 18-5. Russell Wilson knows how to get it done in one-score games, and they're playing a Colts team that's had a tumultuous offseason. I mean, Wentz was sidelined in the preseason with a foot injury. Then he comes back and lands on the COVID list. I mean, this is a guy who has led the league in fumbles with 58 since joining the NFL in 2016. He's a turnover machine. And then his offensive line is a mess. Anthony Castaldo retired. Left tackle Eric Fisher might not play until October with his Achilles injury.
Let me play devil's advocate here for a second. I'm going to pause the timer. Now, the Colts defense finished last season as the 2nd best rushing defense in the NFL per ESPN stats. Despite all the let Russ cook buzz on Twitter, we've seen 9 seasons of Coach Pete Carroll stifling Russell Wilson's freedom to throw at will. I mean, can the Colts completely shut down the Seahawks offense?
No, they can't. I mean, the Seahawks have a new offensive coordinator in Shane Waldron, and he's letting Russ cook. I mean, what we saw last year, towards the end of last year with Pete neutering the offense, that's not going to happen here. Russell Wilson, I believe him. You heard Kanye West. Russell ain't the only Russell. This Russell was for real. Packers -3.5. I mean, this line has jumped around from 2, 1.5 to 4 everywhere, and the contest is 3.5. I mean, look, this game has moved from the Caesar Superdome to Jacksonville. this gives the Packers a major advantage because I have home field at the Superdome to about 3 points. I mean, this Packers team has already beat a better version of this team last year in the Superdome, and they get to play them again with Jameis Winston, who's a turnover-prone machine, instead of Drew Brees. Also, the Saints have lost a lot of pieces in free agency. They're a team that I'm going under on a win total. I mean, they lost Emmanuel Sanders, Jared Cook, edge rusher Trey Henderson, Quan Alexander, Malcolm Brown, Janoris Jenkins. I mean, this team is going to take a major step back this year, and I think the Packers are going to win this game. Lay to 3.5 in the contest, and the Packers get it done. We're going to go with the Los Angeles Rams, -7.5. They upgraded their quarterback from Jared Goff to Matthew Stafford. That's huge. That's going to work wonders for this offense. And they're facing a Bears defense that has really slipped. They're down to 18th in EPA per play in the pass game. So I think the Rams should be able to score at will. But also, the Bears have one of the worst offensive lines in the league. Pro Football Focus ranks their offensive line at 28th. And they have a statue back there at quarterback. I mean, I think I can move around a little bit better than Andy Dalton. And he's got to deal with Aaron Donald. You know, Aaron Donald has 456 pressures over the last 5 seasons. That's 86 more than any other defender in the league. His teammates are going to be able to, capitalize on his double team and get the Andy Dalton. Look for the Rams to cover the 7.5 easy.
Just to recap, guys, Raheem likes the Rams -7.5 versus the Bears, the Packers -3.5 versus New Orleans, but they're playing in Jacksonville. Seahawks -2.5 at the Colts, Broncos -2.5 at the New York Giants, and the Washington football team +1 against the LA Chargers. And I got to say, I like all these picks except the Seahawks one. So for Amanda's bet, I'm taking the other side, the Colts. For stakes, since you're a Cowboys fan, even though you are from Philadelphia and live in Philadelphia and have a Phillies jersey sitting behind you, I don't understand. If my bet wins next week, you have to wear some Eagles jerseys. But if you win, I have to wear some Cowboys stuff. How does that sound?
That works for me. I'm down with it because, I mean, it's not going to win.
That's fair. Thank you, Raheem. And remember, go check out the DraftKings Sportsbook's 2021 Championship Series and enter their Pro Football Millionaire Pick'em. That's going to do it for 5 and 5. I'm Amanda Rose. He's Raheem Palmer, and we'll be back next Thursday for week 2.